Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakag Wadash, and double honor to the apostles of the great millstone, and as well as giving the salutations thereof towards the Yakim, and just jumping right into this, man. I just want to speak on real briefly about this Biden signed CHIPS Act. And before I move forward into the video, I just want to mention that I did see a video of him delivering his speech the way that he did. And for the first time, he sounded like he had his head on right. And as you already know, as we all know, this is the prophecy that we're expecting to happen, to fall into fruition. All right. And it's funny how the spiritual demon Satan had him deliver the message the way that he delivered, because highly likely he's the guy for the job to bring this technology out and to, if possible, tell other corporate companies that people rely on, that people would only but work for if they're implanted with the CHIP, so to speak. And, speaking of Joe Biden was once upon a time the senator. And we're maybe talking about maybe 17 years ago, or maybe 16 years ago, 16 or 17 years ago, maybe like around 05, 06, when he was the senator. He told the man, I forgot the guy's name, but he told him, he said, look, you will rule on that. Mark my words before your tenure is over. And in other words, he said, can brain scans, can human implantable chips, right? I'm roughly paraphrasing what he said. He said, you will rule on that. Mark my words. And now that he's the president, 17 years later, he's the president of the United States, and he's the president all of a sudden that signs the CHIPS Act. As they call it, Computer Chip Act, which you already know what this is. They call it a Computer Chip Act, but basically him signing this act will leave space for the human implantable device, which is what we believe it to be. The mark of the you-know-what, baby. Now let me read, let me see. We're going to get the book of 2 Peter 1:19. So this reads, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well, that you take heed as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day that the day star rise in your hearts, knowing this verse, that no prophecy of the scriptures of any private interpretation. Okay. And while others have been saying within Israel that claim to be the prophets, that the mark of the you-know-what is Christianity, it's an embargo, it's, it represents the world, or sleeping with white women, any kind of madness that's been brought out towards. That's what these guys have been saying, But wow, they've been speaking against the correct interpretation that we've been given that it is. We've been given the correct interpretation of what it is, and it is what it is. It's the implantable device. If you look up the word mark in the book of Revelations 13, 15 to 17, but I believe, let's just focus on verse 16 here. The word mark is karatz in the Greek, or karagma, which means something inserted into you, something stamped into you. So how can you stamp Christianity into you? How can you stamp a white woman into you? How can you stamp an embargo onto someone? That doesn't make any sense. The thing that you can carve into someone, or stamp on someone, or prick into someone is the implantable device. Okay? So it is a sure possibility, as I just read to you. We have a sure word of prophecy that that's going to happen. Nothing else, nothing less. All right. So this is the thing, man. And what I want to say as well is the fact that we at the Great Millstone have been the first ones to declare this out in the midst of Israel on YouTube, beginning with the elder apostles of the Great Millstone that taught all of us, and as well as the elders and the brothers on down. We've been the main guys to push this prophecy of the MOTB being the CHIP. No other camp. Now, you got other camps that do teach that the implantable device is the mark of the you-know-what. But Great Millstone has been heavy into pushing the prophecy of the mark of the you-know-what, and that it is indeed the implantable device. And we still go hard with this as well to this very moment in time. All right. So it is what it is, man. While brothers and a few sisters that's within Israel want to continue to play games, reality is happening, man. And the best thing that brothers and sisters can do that know they're Israelites that are under false teachings is to simply repent, because when this really happens, man, because it's going to happen eventually, a lot of you guys are going to go crazy. You're going to go nuts. You're going to bug the fuck out. Right. And then it's going to be well known that Great Millstone had it right all along. So if you're an individual that's claiming to be a prophet, but you're saying that the mark is something else, you got to repent, man, and stop this nonsense. Just stop it, man. So that's all I have to say. With that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Awashai Bashmi Rakak Wadash Wa Abad Babal. So with that, I'm closing and I say Shalom.